Hey YouTube, it's Wisconsin Shoe Guy here, and I'm here today to talk about a very special pair of shoes. These are Heinrich Dinkelacker Budas. This is made on the Budapest last, and this is considered the classic Budapester, which is a short wing derby. This happens to be a 3-eyelet derby, which is one of the things that Heinrich Dinkelacker is known for. They're also known for their gargantuan medallions, which you can see here. I'll lift that up a little bit so you can take a look the way it really, I mean, it's a fleur-de-lis like most medallions, but they really do a nice job of taking up the entire front of the shoe. Heinrich Dinkelacker is an interesting brand. These shoes are made entirely by hand, so they don't use a machine for hardly anything, although I would say that some of these stitching up here may be used in a machine, but they're putting everything else together completely by hand. It's hand welted, it's hand lasted. I've been to their corporate offices, which are in Bietigheim-Bissingen, Germany, but the shoes are made in Budapest. An interesting thing there. They are owned by Shoe Passion, and Shoe Passion is a great company based out of Germany who makes their shoes in Spain. But these are their absolute top tier and a very good one. You can see this has a bevel in the waist. It's got a wide waist though. You can see that this is a blind channel, but this is a very different kind of welt. So when you first look at it, it looks kind of like what everybody calls a storm welt or a split reverse welt, but then this braiding comes in, and let's take a look at that. They call this a Goyser welt, and that it's kind of like it's a type of Norwegian welt, and they stitch this side up to the upper of the shoe and this side down to the sole. This is something that's done entirely by hand, and you can see the thickness of this welt. Then they have a relatively thin midsole, and then this really thick JR sole on the bottom. So JR Johann Rendenbach. It's a German tannery that specializes in soles, does fantastic soles, widely regarded as the best on the market. Although I will say a quick story. I was at the Crockett & Jones store in Manhattan, and they were telling me that JR soles were just kind of, that's just what the local cobblers here use to resole shoes. It's not what we use at Crockett & Jones, so I thought that was pretty funny. But it's all about, how you're introduced into the industry. I want to point out on the soles, they've got all these nails. They really do a good job, 6 nail patterns. And then they've got 5 of them on the heel. Then you've got 6 here on the sides where there's the most wear. And these are basically brass spikes that are nailed into the shoe. And then you've got 9 of them up here as well. This is all designed in order to deal with wear. And I bought these shoes while I was in Germany over the Thanksgiving holiday. And you go to the factory and you get factory direct prices. There's some enormous discounting, which was great. But just a wonderful shoe. Really like the design. It has huge brogue holes. And I'm not always in the mood to wear a chunky shoe, but when I want a chunky shoe, I reach for these. The color is also something that I find very fascinating. This is a color they call carbon. They did this as part of a mass drop promotion that they did last year. They actually had one that was pure silver. Then they had like a black that had silver in the broguing. And then they had this color, and because I was at the factory, I was able to get just this color, which I was very grateful to get. So the price point on these, 795 euros. They're very expensive, but entirely made by hand in Budapest by a German company, widely regarded as one of the finest ateliers in all of Europe, considering everything. They do have a bespoke group, and they do very fine shoes as well. So no complaints here. I think that was well worth the price. And again, I was able to buy it direct from the factory, so I didn't have to pay that. So this is Wisconsin Shoe Guy, and I'm out. Hope you enjoyed.